on into Angel Dogs. Well, this is the back area where the grooming is done. I do have a cageless area where dogs are put into bays, but it's not necessary because my shop is run with one dog at a time, so everything is done by appointments. But most people will go to different groomers that will have cages. Some they will go to mobile groomers. You need to look around and find out what is best for you. As you can see, it's a very large area. A lot of times I will get a family with 2 or 3 dogs. So it's all right for me to put the 2 or 3 dogs together. No dogs ever have contact with other dogs unless they belong together. This is our bathing room, and this is where a lot of times we'll wash and dry the dogs. And if it's a big dog, sometimes it's easier for me to also groom the dog in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put Miss Lexi in the tub. We're going to take her rubber band out, and we're going to bathe her, so then that way you get to see how we do things, which is different than a lot of the customers will do for themselves. They don't understand how important it is to go ahead and brush and comb and bathe the dog out properly. Now, Miss Lexi has already been combed out, brushed out, combed out, so there's no tangles in her coat at all. And a lot of customers, what they will do is they will take a dog and they'll automatically wash them without brushing and combing, which creates knots. Or if there's already a knot, there's going to be a bigger knot, and it could cause skin problems if the knots are not taken out. So we're going to put her in the tub over here. I already have the water on, so that way I know the temperature is just right. And another thing us groomers use is they call it a grooming noose. It's a terrible word, but it's a choker. And if a dog is not used to a choker, we'll give a groomer a lot of problems. Now, the right way of bathing a dog is normally to wash the dog's face first, but when I have a dog that has hair, I'd rather go ahead and bathe the body first. That way I know no shampoo gets inside the eyes. Even though we use tearless, sometimes the suds could irritate the eyes. So some people may want to use mineral oil to go ahead and to protect the eyes. So right now we're wetting her. Okay, she doesn't mind a bath, and she's pretty good with it. It's the drying that she doesn't like, which this is where you get to see the equipment that the groomers have to use in order to get your dogs washed and dried. So we want to make sure she's totally wet. Okay, she's a good girl. They don't always do what you ask them to do, and they will fight you at times. And this is why we always get scratched up. But it's important that a person that has a dog gets a dog started very early, because if they don't, then when they come in here and they're put in a tub with the sprayer and everything, they fight us, they stand, they'll bite, they'll do everything. Grooming is not an easy business. It's a very hard business. And if a dog has never been done before, it creates a big problem. One of the things that I've noticed when I talk to new clients is they'll bring a dog in and they'll automatically assume that it's just going to come out with this long, beautiful coat. But what happens is a lot of the customers are not, again, brushing and combing their dogs out, and they give us a dog that's completely knotted. By doing that, it leaves the groomer to... I am putting on a shampoo. It smells very good. It smells like bubble gum. But what it is, it's a whitener. It whitens the coat. It could be put on a lot of different type of coats. It's just to brighten them up. I alternate with her since she comes in every week. Sometimes I'll use oatmeal shampoo. Sometimes I use whitener. And I just make sure I get every bit of her coat wet and shampooed. And there she is again. I try to squeeze it out, not rub everything up, not rub the coat in different weird positions, because when that happens, then the coat gets knotted. All right, Lexi, are you ready? Huh? Okay, and this is our equipment that we usually use. There's a stand dryer, and there's also a blower, and this is a new thing. What I mean new, within the 35 years, we didn't have this in the very beginning. And This is what everybody uses. We love this thing. It saves us so much time. But the problem is, if the dog is not started off early, they won't allow you to use this. What this does, it blows the water off the dog. It fluffs up the hair. So especially when you get a dog like Miss Lexi here that does not like to be brushed out or combed out during the process of being dried, it's better to use that. So that's what we're going to do today. It does make a lot of noise. A lot of times when you have there's a lot of customers that like to sit and watch everything. The problem with that is dogs seem to act up, they'll shake more, and as soon as you leave, the shaking will stop. Like a 2-year-old left at a daycare, they'll act up, but as soon as you leave, they'll start playing. So that's how the little doggies are too. They'll start acting up more when you're here. And so a lot of times it's dangerous for a person to come back here. The floor's wet, there's water all over the place. We don't want nobody slipping. And then the dog does not behave very well. But you could ask your groomer if you could have a tour of the place, maybe when they're not busy. And then that way you can see everything and where the dogs are going to be placed, because sometimes what people will do is they will also stick a dog in a cage because now they're being rushed, the groomers. They may have, okay, so we have her set up here. Most groomers will use what they call a groomer's arm. And this is usually in the middle of the table. Sometimes they will put it in the back of the table. And the dog will be connected like that. And what happens is if a groomer is not watching the dog can easily hang himself if they move around. So I'm kind of overprotected with my little guys here, and I'm a very nervous person, so I'd rather just do it where I know the dog is not going to hang himself. It has happened at other shops. I've read about them. I've seen it. So be very, very careful when you are finding a groomer and asking them what they use. And like I said, most groomers will use this. So you have to understand. If you see a groomer walking around from the table and leaving a dog on the table with nobody watching them, then that's signs of trouble. So she's done. So we're just going to dress her up here and make her look pretty. Now, when they come in for a full grooming, I usually go ahead and spend more time and give the dog a haircut and everything. So today it's just a basic brush out because she just had her pads and around the eyes done just recently. So it's very important to always make sure that when you have a dog that you're able to get the brush through the coat. If after you brush the dog, to take the comb through the coat. If for some reason the comb is not going through, then you need to get that brush again and go over it until you know the comb just glides right through. Okay, we're going to make her look pretty today. That's right. It's very important with a lot of the breeds to keep the hair out of the dog's eyes because that can cause eye problems. So there are a lot of people that don't want us to cut at all. We have to do what everybody says, so we listen to what the customer wants, and that's why communication is very, very important. When you are talking to your groomer, you understand exactly what you're getting and what they're going to do. And if they can't do something you want, then they will explain why. It's very important that you have a good relationship with your groomer and you know exactly what you're getting for what you're paying for. And most groomers you have to book in advance. So make sure that you know that once you book that you don't cancel at the last minute. There are some places that will go ahead and charge a special price for cancellations. With me, I don't have no backups, so I do one at a time. If they don't come in, then I have to try to call somebody else in. So all depending on what you're looking for as far as a groomer is, remember, check around, ask your neighbors, ask your friends, go visit the shop, and you decide what is best for your dog. And your dog is the most important thing in your life, so it's got to be taken care of. You can't avoid having a dog being mistreated anywhere, so it is important for you to go ahead and check the place out. And that's about it. So happy shopping for your groomer.